And hello, Zach here. I play Splatoon 3, and I'm currently a 2600 XP player in Splatoon 3 X Battles. Thank you guys so much for the support on my last video. Check it out if you haven't already. It's been my most successful video so far, and it's motivated me to create more content about X Battles and just Splatoon 3 in general. Today we're going to talk about what not to do in X Battles to not only have a better, more fun experience, but also to help climb the leaderboards if that's something that you want to do. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, don't experiment with weapons in X Battles. Use what you know, use what you are comfortable with, use your best weapons. It is very important that you use weapons that you have at least a certain level of mastery with, or at least experience. I remember seeing a video about Smash Bros. Where even if you're using a character that has a bad matchup against another character, if you're the one with more experience with it, you're going to do better because you have more experience dealing with that matchup and that bad matchup. If you're playing X Battles to climb, you're gonna be wanting to get the most out of your weapon. You don't want to be holding anything back. So it's very important to get familiar and comfortable with whatever weapon that you are using. You have to get familiar with its ink management, the range, the movement, the frame data, or the N lag. If you're playing a shooter, you don't have to worry about that. You have to build experience with that weapon, knowing what situations you can handle and which situations require retreat or a different option, and it's going to help you win a lot more fights or stay alive longer and have better and more valuable impact on the game. This does not have to be a meta weapon or a top tier weapon, especially since it's just X rank. It's not like full-on team competitive. While it's definitely a good idea to use a weapon or main a weapon that are higher up on a theoretical tier list, if you consistently use and good with most weapons, you can push it to results. Again, especially in X rank, not high level competitive. I can respect a YouTuber main that know how to use their kit to its full potential. They're always spamming torpedoes, they're spamming missiles, right? Even like a Spotter Shot Nova main, right? If they always have the enemy team located because they know how to use their weapon, I can respect that. But when it's like you don't even have 1 or 2 stars on those weapons and you bring them into X Battle, you're not pulling your weight. You're not really getting the most out of that weapon, and you're not making the most of your time. X Battles, they are a way to practice playing at a higher level or a more intense level, but they're not really a place to practice a weapon, right? It's not the place to practice a weapon that you haven't really played much before, right? I like Slosher in this game. I even have 4 stars on it, but I still don't have that much experience on it. I'm not really going to bring it into X Battles unless I start like really grinding it and I get really comfortable. Even if you do use a meta weapon, make sure you practice it first. Even if a weapon as simple as the Splashomatic, which is like the best weapon in the game at the moment, it still needs practice. If you've never played a burst bomb weapon before, you're not going to be used to the aiming of the burst bombs, which would make you miss a lot of opportunities in games for good burst bomb support fighting with your teammates, right? Knowing what to do when your crab tank is put under pressure is also very important. It's something that you have to figure out by playing crab tank and playing Splashomatic, alright? It's very important because in X rank you're going to be going against players that are better than you, and you can beat them, but you have to make sure that you're not being held back by using a weapon that there's still kind of room on the table for you to improve with. Use a weapon that you are really good with. Choose like 1, 2, maybe 3 weapons that you use in X Battles, alright? Your mains. It's not bad to main something in Splatoon. Anarchy Battles, Series and Open, and even Turf War are perfect places to practice weapons. Not X Battles. Number 2, don't spam this way during the whole match to yell at your team. Listen, I get it. You have preschoolers for teammates. Spamming your D-pad to yell at your teammates is doing literally nothing to help you win. Number 1, you're going to be spending mental energy focusing on, well, yelling at your teammates instead of, well, looking for where your opponents are, blah, 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 you know, playing the game. Alright? You can be mad at your teammates, but I'm mad at my teammates. Like, it's normal. The matchmaking sucks. I get it. But play the game. Alright, you're not helping by spamming this way. You're also just going to be distracting your teammates that already are, I guess, not playing well. Possibly putting them on mental tilt or putting them under pressure because they see someone yelling this way at them. It's just going to make them play worse. You're being toxic. This doesn't mean you can't use the this way button at all. I just mean don't spam it, like, a lot, right? Like, in Clam Blitz for passing clams or trying to notify of a flank on the map, that's fine, right? To use this way. It can be more than, useless, right? But spamming this way as you guys all swim from spawn after a wipe, like, thanks, I know where the tower is. Thank you for telling me where the zone is. Every time someone this way's in mid, as we start pushing the objective or something, or I literally say to myself, thank you for telling me where the Rainmaker is. Like, just stop. Your thumb being on the D-pad is not helping, alright? Play the game, please. Now, number 3, don't play when you're tilted. Speaking of being frustrated at teammates, being tilted in a competitive sense is when you are just basically frustrated and your mentality is a lower state than it was when you started playing, and you're basically just kind of mad, right? Or at least frustrated. You're not going to be playing well when you're tilted, okay? So do not play when you are tilted. Sometimes I feel like I can't stop until I start playing better or win a lot to get me out of tilt, but rarely does that actually get you out of tilt. Most of the time it just prolongs the time that you are tilted because you just keep playing while you're tilted, alright? It's not going to make it magically stop. Listen, you don't need to prove anything to anybody by continuing to play when you're frustrated, alright? No one's watching you, no one cares, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Knowing when to stop is the sign of a winner. It's the sign of someone smart. Knowing when to stop because you're frustrated and you know you're not playing well at the moment, it's a good time to take a break. It's also a very normal thing. Top players and streamers get tilted at X battles and even tournament sets all the time. It means you care. It's not a bad thing. It's sometimes a good thing. You care about the game. Minimizing tilt and learning ways to prevent tilt, which we're not getting into, but that's important for being not only a competitive gamer, but just a competitor. A good way to manage tilt, though, is just to take a break, alright? Again, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. Luckily, Splatoon 3 has plenty of multiplayer modes with more lax matchmaking, like Anarchy Battles, and again, even Turf War if you're into that, that you can play instead of X Battles. If you play X Battles while you're tilted, most likely you're just going to keep losing and losing points. I've heard a lot of suggestions from top 500 players back in Splatoon 2, where if you start feeling tilted, just stop. If you lose like 3 games in a row, just stop. Take a break. I didn't want to give this its own like number, but if the rotation is bad too and you hate the maps, don't play it then. If it's going to make you more likely to get tilted because, oh, Wahoo World sucks, just don't play it. You can skip it. You don't have to play every rotation. Save your points. Number 4, not only does everyone get tilted, everyone also loses. So don't expect to not lose. Even top players lose. A lot of them, it took a month to get such high X powers of 3,000 and such. They have lost a lot along the way. All the top players that you see on the X-Rank leaderboards, they have complained on Twitter about losing sets because of bad teammates or just playing bad or whatever. In X battles, you will lose. In really any competition, you will lose sometimes. It is a perfectly normal thing. Even the best players in the world lose. I literally watched one of the best players in the world, Melon from Japan. I like checked on his stream one time. He just lost like 2 games in a row. Right? Like, it's normal. Everyone loses. You will lose for different reasons. You will get bad teammates. A lot. You will get matched against good players. You will get games where you just simply don't play well. That's normal. This is a competitive multiplayer game. What's important is going back to number 3, is that you realize it's normal, it happens to literally everyone, and minimize the tilt and the frustration that losing can put on your mindset. Number 5, don't compare yourself to other players. Now, if you're pushing for a high X power, right, because you want to, alright? Don't compare yourself and expect that you have to be at the level that all the really high top level players are, okay? Top players in tournaments and X Battle leaderboards, they have most likely played competitive Splatoon against other top players for hundreds and thousands of hours. They've played this game for thousands of hours, 2 and soon probably 3, alright? They have extreme experience and have built up skills of mechanics, awareness, offensive and defensive tactics and strategies, and other vague skills that sound like good players have. Don't expect to be at their level, okay? It's fine to aim for that you want to be there one day, but you have to set goals that are gonna bridge you there, right? Like, if I want to be 3000 X power one day, I have to start with getting 2700, so that in my next intro, I can be like, hi, I'm Zach, I'm a 2700 player, right? I have to start at 2700, and then my goal will be 2800, right? You can't compare yourself to the same players that are simply better at you from what they've experienced and what they've practiced. Having negative self-talk that, I can't believe I'm not at 3000, these guys made it look so easy. Well, they've lost along the way, they kept going, and again, they've practiced a lot, and they've had good practice because they've played competitive. Don't compare yourself to them, alright? The negative self-talk's not going to help you, and it's going to make the game a lot less fun. In conclusion, a theme here is mentality, alright? Mentality is important not only for playing better, but it's going to let you have more fun with the video game that is supposed to be fun, right? If you work on your mentality. It's perfectly okay to take breaks from X battles, alright? In my last video, I talked about how great Anarchy battles are for being a chill option and an alternative mode to X battle. You can skip X rotations, you can go days without playing X. Splatoon 3 is the first game that makes taking breaks from the hardcore ranked mode so easy, and it still lets you play the game. If you feel like you need to take a break from Splatoon 3 though, that is also a fine idea. That's perfectly normal. It's a great way to prevent burnout, alright, and keep you enjoying the game longer. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this helped, and all 5 of these things is something that I've done in X-Rank before, alright? And it's my mentality as a player is something I'm working on, and I think it's probably the most important skill for someone at my skill level. That, you know, my mechanics are pretty good, my game sense still needs work, but it's there. There's something, but mentality is so important, especially for X battles, because it's the most frustrating way to play Splatoon. It is. We'll get into the negatives of X battles in another video, but for now, thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great one, and have fun with Splatoon 3.